Chicago Sky, y'all stink, bro. Y'all, look, there's trash and then there's trash. You know what I'm saying? But look, man, the Chicago Sky got destroyed by the stud buds. Everybody watches the stud buds. Shout out to Courtney Williams and Tisha Heiderman, man. Listen, stud buds stood on business today. Nafisa Collier stood on business today. They destroyed the Chicago Sky.
Angel Reese just dished out 9 turnovers like she was hosting a daytime giveaway. You get a turnover and you get one too. Meanwhile, the stud buds turned the hardwood into a highlight reel of hilarity, dropping dimes and punchlines with equal precision. This wasn't a game. It was a full-blown comedy special with a scoreboard. If you've ever wanted to witness what happens when swagger spins out into slapstick, welcome to the roast of the season. The court's still smoking, and the jokes, oh, they're writing themselves.
Angel Reese had 9 turnovers. Listen, y'all gotta stop with this point forward foolishness, man. Let's take a look, man. Hold on, man. Y'all be wildin', son. Bruh, come on, man. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop, yo. Y'all gotta stop.
1 turnover away from a triple-double. Yeah, you read that right. Angel Reese wasn't flirting with greatness. She was waltzing with infamy. 9 turnovers. That's not a rough night. That's a cry for help from the stat sheet. She wasn't playing basketball. She was running a charity drive for opposing guards. Need a possession? I got you. Fast break on the house. It wasn't a performance. It was a giveaway gala. One more miscue and she'd have cemented herself in the kind of history no one brags about. Not a triple-double of dominance, just disaster served with a side of unintentional comedy.
In the entire WNBA and Angel Reese in garbage time. We saw it. Angel Reese last year against the Fever with like 2 minutes to go. She needed to, I think it was like 6 points and 3 rebounds. And she went and caught like 2 me-bounds and then immediately goes at Victoria Saxton 3 times in a row.
At this point, the only explanation that makes sense is performance art. The coaching staff has to be in on it, some elaborate satire on modern basketball. Because whenever they try to run real offense through her, the paint turns into a 5-car pileup. Even LA traffic would shake its head in disbelief. You can almost hear the hardwood groan every time she parks herself in the lane like she's pitching a tent for a weekend retreat. And a pick and roll? Please. The only thing rolling is the basketball, straight into the other team's fast break. This isn't strategy. It's sketch comedy.
Chases after this opponent, gets close to her during a box out, grabs her by her hips, and hip tosses her, throwing her to the ground. She stands up, she walks over to this opponent, bends over, screams in her face, and flips her the double bird. That's the WNBA gold. We're gonna get into it. And the laughter, oh, Angel. Oh, my angel, you're my darling, angel, angel, angel. You've been playing well, Angel. I give it to you. You've been playing well. But every now and then, those stinkers, oh, man.
So instead of risking a full-blown offensive meltdown, they've handed her the honorary title of facilitator, which is cute if this were a youth league clinic and not a professional basketball game. Facilitator basically means, please don't shoot, just hand the ball off before the rim files a restraining order. Because when she's not passing, she's clanging shots like a broken bell tower. And when she's not clanging, she's flailing like a windmill in a storm. And when she's not flailing, she's traveling, both by rulebook and by spirit, drifting somewhere far from the basket and even farther from consistency.
Like, there's absolutely no foul in that. She gets a good whistle, jumps up, and then goes at somebody on the other team. Who's she go at? She goes at Diamond Miller, her former Maryland teammate. And, like, Angel's 1 tech off a suspension as well. And is like, anytime anyone gets into it with her, she's straight in their face. And I'm like, I don't mind that. But you just gotta be smart. To be fair, the sky sucks, so you might as well just go and take your, I'll say it. The
If you enjoying, please leave a like and subscribe our channel. It's not just about bad games anymore. This is the basketball equivalent of a government cover-up. No one wants to say it out loud, but everyone's thinking it. Reese is legitimately awful. Not rough night awful. Not rookie learning curve awful. We're talking, why is she on the floor? Awful. There are garden gnomes with better footwork. There are scarecrows with more reliable hands. And yet there she is, clogging up the offense like a chewed-up piece of gum in a vending machine slot. But heaven forbid anyone actually bench her. Oh no, that would be admitting defeat. Let her stand at the top of the key, motioning like she's directing traffic, while teammates cut and duck around her like it's a fire drill. Spoiler alert, she's not setting anything up. The only play she's making is for the blooper reel. The ball's going somewhere, sure, but usually to someone in the wrong colored jersey.
Just when I thought she was turning her season around, just when I thought Angel Reese was graduating from pretend basketball player to make-believe basketball player, the level where it's almost believable that Angel Reese is a basketball player. Just when I thought Angel Reese would pull through in the clutch and do America a favor. With a win last night against the Minnesota Lynx, Angel Reese would have become the most popular player in the WNBA dump. Well, Casey, that's simply not possible. Caitlin Clark will always be the most popular player in the WNBA.
And the worst part? You can see the players adjusting to her limitations in real time. Watch the spacing. Watch how teammates hesitate to cut toward her, like they're trying to avoid a black hole. No one wants to be the next casualty of a wild pass, a late screen, or a surprise dribble off the foot. It's like they're running plays with a live grenade. This isn't chemistry. This is survival. The irony here is rich. For all the talk about leadership and grit and championship DNA, Reese has become the very anchor that's weighing the team down. And not in a good, stabilizing way. In a, we're sinking and nobody knows how to swim way. Every possession with her on the floor is like rolling dice in a casino rigged against you. As if standing in the dunker spot while your teammate gets double-teamed is positioning and not just being in the way. At this point, the only thing Reese is facilitating is fast breaks for the other team. She's not a playmaker. She's a plot twist. And not the fun kind.
But I know why people are defending this. Let's get into it. Nneka Ogwumike, she gets up, proceeds to get boxed out, unable to move her opponent out of the way. Nneka Ogwumike retaliates, grabs her by the hips, throws her to the floor, stands over her, screams on her, flips her the double bird. Quinterly, Dallas Wings' teammate, being a good teammate, gets in the middle of the two, pushes Nneka out of the way like a good teammate should. Instead of saying, Nneka, come here, let me get you a hug. No, get up off my teammate, girl. Get up off my teammate. Nneka Ogwumike can't let it go.
You know it's bad when opposing teams start baiting her like she's a weak link on a fence. They want her to have the ball. They pray she touches it. You can almost hear the opposing coach from the sideline whispering, let her cook. Knowing full well the dish is raw in the middle and the kitchen is on fire. And let's not even start on transition defense. Watching her hustle back after a turnover is like watching someone try to jog in flip-flops. There's movement technically, but it's mostly decorative. The body language says it all. Frustration without urgency, intensity without focus, vibes without results. Which brings us back to the coaching staff. They know. They have to know. You don't just stumble into that many offensive blackouts and think, yes, more of that please. This is strategy via denial. This isn't development. It's disaster management. It's spinning a tornado and calling it a fan. And yet, the facade continues. Press conferences full of vague compliments. Social media posts with dramatic slow-motion clips that cut right before the turnover.
I'm telling you, with a win last night, Angel Reese would have surpassed the Rue from Waterloo in popularity. Now, I am not saying that her dozens of aliases would have passed Caitlin Clark, but Angel Reese herself, she definitely would have. Going into the game last night, Cheryl Reed, the head coach of the Minnesota Linkers, she told the doofus duo who refer to themselves as stud buds, she told them if they lost this game to the Chicago Bravado, they would no longer be allowed to stream on Twitch.
The whole operation is a masterclass in selective editing. Frame the narrative just right, and maybe, just maybe, people will forget the score. Or the fact that the team got blown out while their supposed star tripped over her own momentum. Meanwhile, the rest of the roster suffers. Players who can shoot, players who do move, players who understand the concept of a shot clock. They're being sacrificed on the altar of brand protection because it's not about winning anymore. It's about avoiding the embarrassment of admitting a mistake. And that's the saddest part. Angel Reese didn't ask to be overhyped. She didn't beg for the expectations. But now that she's under the spotlight, the flaws are unavoidable. You see double-double, and suddenly it's like she just dropped a 30-piece triple-baked filet mignon. But if you actually watched the game, like eyes open, brain functioning, you'd know that what unfolded on the court wasn't dominance. It was chaos. Sloppy, unbothered, perfectly marinated chaos. Angel Reese's stat lines are like clickbait headlines. Dramatic, colorful, and almost entirely misleading.
Lads, Angel Reese is currently about to be suspended. She has 7 technical fouls on the season. And if this was last season, in a 44-game season, she would have already been suspended. And it is genuinely one of the funny things about this is that her fans are arguing that none of the techs are warranted. They are all warranted.
Because here's the deal. Her rebounds? Sure, she grabs them. Mostly the ones that fall directly into her arms after she bricks the shot in the first place. Self-assisted rebounding should be a separate column on the stat sheet. Offensive board off your own airball? That's not hustle. That's cleanup duty. It's not dominance when you're mopping up your own mess. That's just janitorial work in a headband. And those points? Oh, bless those points. Half the time, it's because the team is desperately trying to force her into the game plan. It's like watching someone try to shove a square peg through a circle hoop with increasing panic. They feed her the ball like she's Shaq, but she finishes like someone whose controller disconnected. Her passes are like riddles. No one knows where they're going, including her. The ball leaves her hand with the optimism of a toddler tossing glitter in the air. Beautiful in theory, catastrophic in execution. You can almost hear the opposing defenders whispering, "Thank you," every time she makes another visionary pass straight into traffic.
So Angel Reese, the most toxic player in all of basketball, is out here slapping clipboards out of her coaching staff's hand because she's so mad her team committed a foul in the crunch after she shot 15 free throws this game. This is the lowest of the low disrespect that you can show to your coaching staff. She's trying to get y'all locked in, worried about the next play, and you so toxic with your terrible, awful attitude that you slap the clipboard out of her head.
And somehow, despite all this, she's still labeled as the face of the league. Which face, exactly? Because if we're being real, she's the poster child of what not to do. Want to learn how to run an effective pick and roll? Don't watch Angel. Want to understand defensive positioning? Close that tab. Want to know how to kill momentum with one poorly timed drive into 4 defenders? Congratulations, you've found your guru. It's honestly impressive how she's turned basketball into a performance art piece titled "How to Drain a Team's Offense Without Touching the Ball for 3 Possessions Straight." Standing in the paint like a forgotten monument. Taking 5 seconds to gather a shot like she's loading a cannon. The subtle hesitation before they pass her the ball. The way they scatter like roaches when she gets it in the post because they know what's coming. Either a wild, off-balance attempt that somehow misses both the rim and the backboard, or a jump pass launched into the stands like it's a souvenir for row H.
What's up, y'all? I just want to talk about this chick, Angel Reese, for a second. She has been all over my timeline, over my Twitter, or X, Instagram, TikTok. She's always pushing people and this and that. She's always in controversy. So let me address this situation real quick. How is she a professional athlete? Like, can we step back for a second and just analyze this situation? How in the world is this chick a professional athlete? She is, out of all the clips that I've seen, she is the worst basketball player I've ever seen.
But the narrative remains. She had 14 and 12. Yeah, and a war crime in ball movement. It's easy to rack up stats when you're playing 30-plus minutes and the offense runs through you like expired milk through a blender. At a certain point, numbers stop meaning anything when the eye test is screaming, "This ain't it." Because there's a difference between impact and inflation. One helps your team win. The other just pads the box score so it looks respectable after you get blown out by 20. Reese, unfortunately, lives in the latter. Her style of play is the human embodiment of empty calories, filling but not nourishing. You might think she's eating, but really, it's just a bunch of styrofoam stats with a side of hot air. Swagger is fun when it's backed by buckets, but when you're tossing bricks like a one-woman construction crew, the flexing starts to feel more like parody than power. She plays with the confidence of a seasoned vet.
You made some comments about Angel Reese.
Yeah.
You called her garbage compared to Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I love black people. Mwah, 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 mwah. But I think sometimes we do play the race card too much. This ain't racial. This is about sports. This is about athletic ability. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at Caitlin Clark's game, who's very reminiscent of a Steph Curry based on her range and shooting the three, plus everything else she does. And then you look at Angel Reese.
And look, swagger is great, but there's a fine line between having an edge and being delusional. Right now, she's living in her own motivational poster, except the quote says, "Shoot your shot, even if you miss the rim entirely and turn it over 5 times in a row." Even funnier is the way commentators bend over backward to justify it. She brings energy. So does a car crash. She has a presence. So does a traffic cone. Presence is only meaningful when it contributes to something greater than just existing on the court and looking animated after fouling someone on a fast break. It's the great Reese illusion. The Emperor has no post moves and even fewer assists. If she wasn't so visible, the flaws might stay hidden. Keeps getting the spotlight. And the rest of the team? They suffer in silence, adjusting to her orbit like she's the basketball sun, shining bright but burning everything around her. Because as long as her numbers look good, the machine keeps spinning.
I'm sorry, but I don't know who need to hear this, but Angel Reese gotta be the worst basketball player ever. She's the worst basketball player ever. Like, do y'all guys don't understand this? She only made 2 points with 12 rebounds. She missed a couple of shots and she missed a rebound, bro. She only made 12 rebounds. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 12 rebounds.
But sooner or later, it catches up. The turnovers grow, the shot selection declines, the fake hustle gets old, and the fans who actually watch, not just scroll, start to see the truth. That those box scores? They're fool's gold. That hype doesn't win games. And that sometimes the face of basketball is actually just the mask covering a hot mess of missed layups and tragic footwork. So sure, keep hyping up the 14-point, 12-rebound master.